Uganda has been known about one member of parliament, known more popularly by his alias Bobi Wine. There has been a strong critic of President Museveni, who's been in power since 1986.
Dear people around the globe, I'm addressing you as a Ugandan in the urge of telling the world a story. The story is about Robert Kyagulanyi, also known as Bobi Wine, known for his music but leading what they call the struggle for freedom. For the ones who don't know anything about Uganda, we are the youngest population in the whole world, with over 80% of Ugandans below the age of 35. That's approximately the number of years our current president is in power, but that's also Bobi Wine's age. We Ugandans all know Bobi Wine because of his music. The music that he starts producing in the late 90s from a small town center in the suburbs of Kampala. Kamoja.
So treat the girl them nice, man, you hear me? Yeah. Alright.
Bobi Wine himself is a ghetto kid. Himself he represents ghetto. He is part of the ghetto. Ghetto is in his blood. That's why he's loved in our country.
Back in the days, they used to take ghetto as a place of thieves, thugs.
It's a slum where people do not have fair life.
We got no money, we got the talent. We want to be like the Bobi Wine himself.
Yeah, man, represent the ghetto, the wine.
He challenged everyone that, you know what, you can come from the ghetto and be somebody, because I'm also from the ghetto.
I think this is a fundamental change in the politics of our country.
This is President Museveni in 1986. Ugandans were happy that the war against the regime of former President Obote was over, and that Museveni brought stability and economic growth. Not 5, not 10, but 30 years later, he won his 6th term. Now, when we go back to Bobi Wine's ghetto, it might look peaceful to you. Kids playing around, happy faces, but the facts around Ugandan ghettos are worrying. People are really poor, and they feel completely abandoned by Museveni's government.
These people have been claiming they had brought peace. People are sleeping well, nobody. But we can't sleep when we are starving. This is part of Uganda where the war was. It had everything. People were good farmers. We had coffee factories. We had cotton factories. We had shambas, big shambas. They are nowhere to be seen. We had very strong cooperative societies, nowhere to be seen. Ugandans are slaves in their country now. You can't go out and describe what Ugandans do. We are not farmers. We are not the business community. We are just grandmothers, people to find what to eat. That's why we are crying to the incumbent to put in place a situation where we can change politics freely.
In the late 90s, Uganda's music industry was changing direction, majorly because of them. Chameleon, Bebe Cool and Bobi Wine. Who is your favorite artist? I think all Ugandans have had this question at least once. Musical beefs and competition was trending at the time, but Bobi Wine soon brought a new concept to life, the Bobi Wine edutainment. He gave advice through his music, sang about proper sanitation, entrepreneurship, the use of condoms, how to deal with the ghetto life, and he has always been outspoken about where he comes from, something that lots of Ugandans would be ashamed of.
I'm Bobi Wine. There's nothing to hide about me. I come from Kamocha, and hey, I'm proud of it.
And you know I'm representing that ghetto, and ghetto is all about, you know.
You think ghetto is about smoking? No, you're
that's
very
what
wrong.
we think.
That's what you think. That's why I'm here to make it clear. Ghetto is where I come from. Yeah, those places with limited opportunities. In the ghetto where we come from is where most talent is, but it's deprived of all the opportunities. That's where I come from. That's Uganda, baby.
One youth and youth, you know, if you know a politician will come for born. Straight from the Dangala, come and we come for your space. Exactly what's on a poor man's mind. Man called Bobi Wine, a man called Nobi, and listen, we come for talk. Remember, we are Ghetto youth. Watch this.
Like we were telling the people, we elected you into office. You need to do something about the ghetto. You don't only remember us when you really need to get back into those positions.
His music has always been about justice.
He preaches out love, he preaches out unity, he preaches out peace, and he teaches a lot of people through his works. All his works are educative.
He wrote a song, and I told him, man, this song is going to bring trouble for you. You want to do this song, you need to be somewhere, maybe you need to be a politician, don't do this song. And he said, okay, I understand, let me not do this song. And he didn't do the song. But after 5 years, he did the same song.
If I try to communicate what's actually on ground, I expect the authorities to appreciate that. I expect the authorities to react positively to that, not by intimidating the singer, not by branding me an inciter of violence. I expect understanding.
People are pushing him to another position. You're singing for us the songs, these guys hear them, but they can't do nothing. Can you please get there on the floor and speak for us?
And it has been a very long journey, but the boy was consistent.
So he's like, man, do you know that I can be a member of parliament? And I was, yeah, yes, you can.
And when he was coming, this is what he told us. Gentlemen, I've been advising government, I've been talking to different people, my friends in the army, my friends in the police, my friends in the political circles, that they should change. But they have refused. We must go there and force that change now.
So Bobi Wine presented himself as a candidate in the by-election for Chadondo East. That's the constituency where he stays, to be the member of parliament, the representative of this constituency.
If he is serious going to the parliament, let him first shave off all those dreads. He agreed with people. Then we designed the other posters.
It was put everywhere all over the country, even where the elections were not going to happen. You would go to Mbarara, find people with these posters everywhere on their cars, on the streets, in their restaurants.
Could associate with everyone, so that's why those people could come and like show their love back to him.
It was people who would finance everything.
Bobi Wine didn't go to parliament as a job. He went to serve. That's what most people don't differentiate.
It got all the attention. Everyone knew about it. There are times that he would not eat, and you just have to force him. Like, Bobby, get back into the car, eat something, drink something. He lost so much weight because all the time it required him to be up there.
Chadondo, those people showed us love. Really love.
All people supported him. It was a massive campaign.
We were trying to prove this, that it's not about the dreads, it's about the brains.
Eno egenda okubeera entandikwa y'enkomerero y'obubbi bw'akalulu mu ggwanga lyaffe.
This is the song that Bobi Wine sang during the presidential elections of 2016. In this song, he advocates for peaceful elections and condemns the violence, a thing that always occurred during the elections.
Yeah, of course, we are versing with the state. So all the state establishment were in place. That is the police, the intelligence, the army, and of course the NRM as a party.
And these guys really try to do what they're best at, trying to rig.
The police could say, let's continue. Okay, what happened? Okay, stop fighting. Let's continue voting. But somebody like is putting on like 300 votes and the voters are like 10. Security was to be guaranteed by us, not the police, because the police is ordered by the ruling government.
They caught guys with vehicles, with boxes, so many votes already ticked.
We had to drive our cars the whole day. checking every polling station. If I'm here, somebody's here. If I'm here, somebody's there. We were driving around.
They would pull out our posters, like our banners, posters. It was so unfair.
Yo, Bobi Wine wakabini mwana. Yo, straight Bobi Wine.
They composed a song in our language. It was Fetwagala Bobi Sisente. We want Bobi, not money.
On the day of voting, there was so much tension. So many army people, like in uniform.
And at around 7, when it was becoming dark, they removed power. And I knew these people were going to rig elections.
These guys can do anything. Even if you win in numbers, they can decide to announce some other person. So there was so much tension.
These results are from all the 93 polling stations. I declare Kyagulanyi Sentamu Robert, who has obtained the largest number of votes, to be the elected candidate for Chadondo County East constituency, Wakiso district.
There was celebration all over the whole country.
It was like those times when we have our football team playing with another country and we win.
This is not my victory, this is the people's victory. It is the exaltation of the voice of the common people. Now the divisions of elections are over, and it is time for us to work together to bring the positive change that our people so badly need.
I've been participating in elections throughout my life, but I have never seen an election where people jubilated as Robert's election. And in our history here, it hasn't ever been here for somebody to win an election 98%. Winning all, we won all.
Even the structures of the NRM, that is the National Resistance Movement, the party in power, voted for Bobi Wine.
There are people who are saying that a lot of musicians and comedians are getting into our parliament, and so it is sort of diluting the quality of the parliament. How different are you going to be? What message do you have for such people?
There's something called stereotype, yeah? For long, there's been that stereotype. But probably that's why God raises people like me to prove certain negative perceptions wrong.
People used not to take him serious. But when he got into active politics, yeah, they're saying, hey, really, he had some sense. Yeah, now they started looking even for the songs that he'd sung before. And
like Bob Marley said, we handle things in a Robert Dub style. Yeah.
One Bobi Wine with a man in a row. Blow that row, boy.
I, Chadondo East, Robert, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. So help
Siko bulamu mukono tassa Bokalya dakadada chiribedda Basaba chimutwe kume wado bulamu kunyuma chimanye mumpinyo Siko bulamu mukono tassa Bokalya dakadada chiribedda
Omuvubu komola bufuya bela stedenga Bani wabela nakapira kaba kukava Nayi kamanu suku magala bikamini karuba Kuba manyiye mela ya sitegwe no gwiroli No gwirano yu watenga toyambala Katinga busamwe baganda bange
What is your last word to them as you do make your first step to Parliament?
My last word to them is that You can count on me. I've walked into parliament. I've always said it before that if parliament cannot come to the ghetto will come to the parliament. So I want you to know ghetto has come to the parliament of Uganda. But what we want to deliver, what we want to change, we're going to change it together. My role is to give people confidence and to make them believe in democracy, which they've believed in.
The whole country had been watching these elections. It felt bigger than a general election, while this was just a by-election for Chadondo East, one of the 146 constituencies. But there was also a big doubt in the back of people's mind. Is he going to deliver? Is he capable? Is it not just for the fame?
It had mixed feelings, you know. Politics.
Nga nze ngezaako mulala kugamba waliwo ebintu ebize bitambula wano mu Uganda ng'obitunuulira nga toyinza kyagaliza mukwano gwo. Abantu babakwata ne babakuba emiggo ne bakola batya nga ndaba tugendamu obwo obulamu.
Remember that. Represent every day of the week. Straight from the ghetto. Man.
Bobi Wine was not even a week old serving in parliament when a huge challenge came to his path. They wanted to remove the presidential age limit of 75 from the constitution. And if this bill passes, President Museveni can again rule for another term in 2021.
Not much was known about Igara West legislator Raphael Majezi until he tabled one of the most controversial bills in Uganda's history.
If Majezi's bill sails through, the president could stretch his reign to 40 years.
Bwabiwulira n'agamba kawaani kibano bachani nabuuza nkube luyimba nkuliki okutegeeza eggwanga mwana tuli bakubeera mu busibe buno paka tukoze tutya n'afuna ekirowoozo awo n'agamba tugenda mu studio n'alikodinga ka voice note.
My name is Kyagulanyi Sentamu, also known as Bobi Wine.
This 12th day of September 2017 is a very sad day in the leadership of our country.
They passed a resolution to remove presidential age limits from the Constitution of Uganda so that President Museveni can become life president. They did this at a time when our nation has been bleeding for the last 31 years. Our country's former glory is all gone. Corruption rates are alarming, service delivery is at its worst, and women are dying while giving birth. Your elected members of parliament think the best response to this crisis is to remove age limits. Well, my message to them is this. You are traitors.
You have betrayed your country. You have sold your conscience for cheap. History will judge you very harshly. You should remember that it is your children and your children's children who will inherit this mess that you have created. You should individually reflect on what you have done.
Police are accusing the MP of inciting the public in a WhatsApp audio recording against lifting the age limit provision before he traveled to the US.
Honorable Kyagulanyi, he made a statement before he went out of the country, and we want to question him over those statements, abusing the head of state, abusing everyone. So we want to interview him and then release him to go.
Robert Kyagulanyi returned this afternoon at Entebbe International Airport from America, where he received a heroic welcome.
When he was coming back, we gave him the belt, telling him, go and fight for this nation.
Do not be scared. This is our time. Banomo nabe mulaba abasirikale bavubuka bannaffe.
Namubuuza kati Kawani kinagamba tebalina kye basobola kukola bano. Tebalina. Tugende wali ku kapolisi kaabwe bawandike bye baagala okuwandiika.
The last shots that we could see from Bobi Wine, he was in custody at the police station. But we all knew that he had an interview on NBS, Uganda's biggest news channel. So we were waiting to see if it would continue.
So they were like asking him about the recording. He said, yes, I said it, ABCD. Did I break any law? So they had to sign for him. We left the police, we had to drive up to NBS. Then we reached NBS, Bobi entered the studio direct. Then the police had to wait for us.
Robert Kyagulanyi, good evening, Robert.
I received an invitation, a rare invitation from Bill Gates and his wife Melinda Gates to go and attend a global conference, which was also attended by former President Barack Obama and other prime ministers from across the world. And I thought it was important, so I agreed with my fellow members of parliament in the opposition that I should go there because it's also important. Our international relations are very important in our struggle. But as I was driving out of the airport, my car was blocked. And I was questioned on different allegations, terrorism. They were alleging that Bill Gates is apparently giving me money to remove this government using illegal means and all such allegations. But eventually, I was charged for inciting violence as per the audio and video that I recorded. So I was sending a message to the people to tell them that it's actually their constitutional right as per Article 3, subsection 4 of the Constitution, that every Ugandan has a right and actually has a duty to protect the Constitution. And even right now on TV, I'm calling upon all Ugandans not to sit down, rise up and defend the Constitution before the Constitution is too weak to defend us. Kati nga tulina okugenda mu parliament second seat y'etteeka nga bagamba kati Bobi Wine balina musibira waka.
Kati Bobi Wine kyakirowoolezaawo naye kati singa asula ewaka kitegeeza sijja genda mu parliament.
Ssaawa nga 8 ne tujja mu ghetto nga abalenzi bonna baapoyedda.
Era twakeera ffe twava wano yava wali eri waggulu mu gete wa dax nakati bwe budde tugende ku parliament.
There were plans to arrest all of us opposed MPs, so we had a plan not to sleep at our places to fail their plan to arrest us. I have to be in parliament together with my fellow MPs to stop this bill from even being presented. And now I'm heading to parliament, and once I enter parliament, still I have the immunity, they can't touch me. Yeah, so let's move.
Patrol za polisi nizizo kazi wa matoka agulu eryezi 2. Bobi nayagala ovaamu devina katovaamu era nkulayirira we natunula nagamba omuntu yenna anannekiika ngenda kumulinnya. Tulyoka tusimbula awo naye tugenda okuyingira ekkubo nga buli muntu yategedde dda nti tali tuli mu lutalo. Ekkubo balisibye eri waliyo jjaamu era Bobi yabuukiramu awo. bwabukamu n'alinya bodaboda Devi n'amugoberera Devi agenda amuvaako mu ali ku bodaboda Devi yagoba na bigere.
Bobi n'agituulira aba yakagituulira nga poliisi kikuuse bannange minulaba nga kamukabajje ningamba ne kano kamanyi kye kakwatako ng'owa poliisi sebwafu ne piki zaabo butuleetere ne mugaboyi butuleetera nagamba owaboda nagamba bano tebatusobola tugenda olwo ku palamenti salawa.
For us, we are watching on TV because Parliament was under siege. It was surrounded by all military forces.
There's nothing clarified. Get out of the house. Nothing done procedure. Get out of the house. We'll resume in 30 minutes and you must be out of this house.
The speaker was not following the rules of procedure. And later on, we knew that she was given almost 6 billion shillings. She allowed the intruders to access Parliament. She allowed forceful eviction of MPs. So that situation, we told Bobi Wine, I personally told him that, you see, if the situation goes astray, you do whatever you can do to save the constitution, to save the country. You'll be counted in the history of Uganda.
Security personnel entered Parliament just to threaten them, and they fought with these people. It was a war.
We saw guys with black suits. We informed their soldiers. Wanted to do these things when some members of parliament were out. Now this was planned.
Bobi Wine was taken to Nagalama police station, while a big part of the world was receiving this news. After this fight, the whole country was suddenly interested in national politics. Something was going on.
Bobi was at university and I was the best in our school, so I was brought to Kampala to feature in a drama. So he was also brought from MDD, Makerere University, and so we got to meet on stage. Okay, he was distinct, he was different. He had dreads, he walked differently, he was full of himself, he rarely talked to us, he came late, left early, but was very, very, very good on stage. I even wondered how he practiced all the lines in the play. I wanted to know what was behind his character. Since we were acting together, I was supposed to be his wife in the play. So when we were done with all that, I would find myself asking him, so why is your hair like that? Why do you walk like that? Why do you come late? Why do you leave early? When he said, I live in the ghetto, and I'm like, what is a ghetto? So why do you come late? I have brothers to take care of. Why are you the one in charge of your brothers? Well, we don't have parents. I am the big one. So, okay. So you're the big one. How do you take care of those brothers of yours? So one day, Bobi pushes me to home. Then you would have to have some muscle to fight for a seat. So he would fight for my seat. Then this day he fought for my seat. Then the conductor said, you can't get out of this taxi. You're already seated. He said, okay, come and sit here. So he brought me all the way home. So when he came, this boy, Devi, said, what? Baby, do you know who you're with? And I'm like, what do you mean? This is Bobi Wine. And I'm like, what do you mean? He says, he is Bobi Wine, the one that sings this song called Kagoma. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Of course, it felt like that was betrayal on my side. I needed to have known this from the start. So I cut him off for about a week. So that weekend when we started talking, he said, I have a big show. Come with your family. I have tickets for you. Come and see. Come and see why I have these dreadlocks. So we went. We reached at the show and sat in the congregation. People were singing. It was my first time at a show. That was not my kind of environment. It looked weird. People screaming with beer in their hands and fire everywhere and skimpy clothes. And then he came on stage and everybody was in a different kind of world, screaming, jumping, raising chairs. And I'm like, oh my God, I am the only one who does not know who this guy actually is. And I called him the next day and I told him I can't date you anymore. It may not work that way. Okay, it took me some time. My auntie just said, you know what is disturbing you? What is disturbing you is that you're so religious. You are just this church girl who does not know the town. He is not a thief. He is not a gambler. He is working hard and earning money through his talent. You could be the one on that stage acting and earning from that. Well, it took some time, but then I don't know where it ended, and then we were back together. He is a more attentive person than I am. He treats each child differently. Yet I treat them like a group. What so-and-so does, you should be able to do. I think he's a very good father. If I were not around, he would be the father that spoils his children.
We read in the newspapers that 3 explosives were thrown at their home, the place where Bobi Wine, and their 4 children stay. It was directly related to the fact that Bobi Wine was trying to stop the age limit bill from being passed.
We cannot allow a dictatorship because if this passes, then we are doomed.
He started a campaign with other opposition members to stop this bill. The campaign color was red, so everybody was wearing red. Even members of the ruling party were joining the campaign. They named the campaign Togikwatako, meaning don't touch the constitution.
When Togikwatako started, several things occurred. I was here one night and Robert called me that they had dropped grenades at his house. And that very morning, I drove to his place. As I was there, several members of parliament came to console him. I welcomed them.
Down there in the ghetto, people are beginning to get this ray of hope. They believe things can change, and indeed things can change. So we just can't give up, especially when we know that what we're doing is right.
If you come for my children, then you've come for everything I have. So it was a big scare.
Some of them are crying, why don't you leave these people alone? But when you look at the promise we gave people, when you look at the conviction we have in our hearts, you realize that, we either win this struggle or we die trying.
The grenade attacks continued, but not only at Bobi Wine's house.
There's another member of parliament, Sewanyana, because he had suffered the same thing. And we decided to move. As we were moving, we found they had put a roadblock to arrest us. And indeed, they arrested Robert. We tried to follow them, but they managed to stop us on the way.
They have made some organization. They have mobilized. they are going to cause chaos in town. So we have to prevent that.
We could not know where they took him. Eventually, after some time, some people rang us that this man is being taken to Nagarama police station. And we drove and found him there. And at around 7 o'clock, they released him and we came back with him. So we had started to realize there was something wrong with Togikwatako.
Kansoolo kugamba nti namavuga ne mutwale wakana amala nakomawo mu studio nga tangambye nakungamba nga talina gwagambye ku makya nangamba boy yatugendeka waddani magic owulire project yeno nga alina freedom.
It was an answer for the things that were happening, and it was a voice against the change of the bill.
Yeah, the population loved the song. However, the ruling government didn't love the song because it brought out the reality about what is taking place in the country.
They shot the video so fast because we were scared that it would be stopped. We released it the moment we were on the plane. They would have arrested him.
Fact netugitumana freedom otuweeyo kubanga twakata okutuuka South Africa nga buli omu ayimba freedom.
The song spread like a wildfire. Yeah, even if it did not get played so much on TV. And for the few TVs it played on, they were warned not to play it.
It's not the first time they ban him. They don't play his music on TV, but people have it on their phones, people have it on their radios, people have it on their computers.
Yo, back home they're banning Bobi Wine song titled Freedom.
Yeah, man, freedom comes to those who fight, not to those who cry. Because the more you cry is the more your people continue to die. So speak to the dictator straight in the face and tell him we want to be free. Free.
Everyone thought that they would arrest him at the airport. There would be so much attention. That was his protection.
Mbadde nyina concerts zembadde nyina okuperforminga nga bwe mmanyi nti kyakirizibwa kuyimbira wano ewaffe kakati mbadde ngeze South Africa mbaddeyo ne shows nnya then nemala nengenda ne Dubai ne performinga kale tunayogera bannange.
He always has tours in Uganda, the Central Tour, the Eastern Tour, the Western Tour.
His next rallies has been his concerts because they attract huge amounts of people. And he have been pushing in his message. It could boost him. That's why they tried to stop him.
And Bobi Wine sang the freestyle, it came worse. So they had to stop Mukono. There are many different shows that were stopped.
Because they thought and they knew that when people get to realize the truth, it will be a tug of war.
Banyomiza olunaku lwesirierabira banyomiza olutalo mu parliament twali mukuteesa mu parliament netulondebwa obusajja obumanyi teke naye bwasanga naffe tumanyi teke ozefunya naffe netuzifunya otulaga naffe netubalaga ezabaye naffe
bagala shows out.
But you told them, I'm a musician by profession. You cannot stop me from singing. We are going to court.
I was subsequently charged with inciting violence. But in my own interpretation, they are charging me for opening the eyes of the people, especially the youth. They are charging me for showing people that they have been enslaved for so long. My fellow artists here in Uganda also sing about political views. Some of them have different political views than mine. You have seen my fellow artists singing Tubonga Nawe, but they are not stopped, they still work. I wonder why the government and the police in particular is witch hunting me, and I seek help from the courts of law.
They gave us some rules. You shouldn't talk about Togikwatako, you shouldn't talk about politics. No, go, sing, get off the stage.
That's not the Bobi Wine people came to watch.
I would like to communicate about the things that we have to eliminate, the ignorance and poverty to eradicate, all these ghetto youths them to educate, and to see that the president is too old. Disrespect of the constitution is too bad. I say we are fighting for freedom. Kampala mokodumba de jinja. We are fighting for freedom. Kabale lukunjiri marara kasese. We are fighting for freedom. Soro dichitugum aruwaliragum. We are fighting for freedom. I say wakiso masaka wende mijana. We are fighting for freedom. Yo! We are living in a time similar to the one of slave trade. This operation is worse than apartheid. The gun is the master, citizen slave. The pearl of Africa is bleeding. Question, what was the purpose of the liberation when we can't have a peaceful transition? What is the purpose of the constitution when the government disrespect the constitution? Where is my freedom of expression when you charge me because of my expression? Look what you're doing to this nation. What are you teaching the future generation? See our leaders become misleaders, and see our mentors become tormentors. Freedom fighters become dictators. They look on the youth and say we are distractors. We are fighting for freedom. Malaba, Motokola Chotera. We are fighting for freedom. Nebi Bakwachi Moroto Chadondo. We are fighting for freedom. Padel Masindi, Kabun Karamoja. We are fighting for freedom. Oi Machiriandongo Koti Mundibujo. We are fighting for freedom. Yes, man, like Martin Luther said, in the end, we remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends.
We decided to carry out public rallies, constituency per constituency, to carry out consultation. If you are having a political rally, you just do it, because even if you seek for permission from the police, they cannot do what? They cannot allow you.
Wayinza okubuuza Bobi amaanyi agajjawa agogera nga tenaye wa ghetto nga ffe. Singa osoma mukana akatabo ka constitution ojja kumanya nti nga muna Uganda etteeka likuwa obuyinza bungi nnyo, etteeka likufuula boss.
They don't want us to talk to let the public know of this. A lot of people could have known this a long time ago, but wherever you say we are having a rally, we are going to talk about national issues, they bring in tear gas.
Enyingo esokera ddala nyingo namba emu egamba all power belongs to the people. Obuyinza bonna bw'abantu. Enyingo eyokubiri, all citizens of Uganda shall have the right and the duty at all times to defend the constitution.
So Bobi Wine was the protagonist, so he was the main actor. So if you make a rally there, without Bobi Wine, you can't get good results. Then we faced the tear gas, live bullets. We went down like this. People were so dangerous and ready to do everything in Togikwatako.
If 20 men and 10 women can cause commotion in the parliament, so what about a million ghetto youth?
The whole country was watching to see the last seat in parliament about the presidential age limit. Is this age limit bill going to pass? We were very curious to hear the last words of our MPs, our representatives, before the last decision was going to be made.
It was a big deal, my dear, because everyone was watching.
Honorable Speaker and members, I have the rare opportunity to traverse the whole country, and everywhere thing from north to south, from the east to the west, people are saying, "Dare not touch our constitution." These people, ladies and gentlemen, these people know what they are talking about. They know what this is about, and they know who is pushing it. We have a chance to solve the problems of our grandfathers and grandmothers. We have a chance to do that. We have a chance to reverse that, and it is important that we save our children and the children of our children from this madness. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And thank you, sir.
Mbadde njagala kukwataganya ne Simbwa ye gyali bafuuka kiwana mitwalo 10 gyengenda okuwa ogenda bujja mitwalo 10 naawe.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you can watch inside the lens would be great.
Okay. Yeah, to the government, the president, of course, and the entire executive, I want you to know that this is not a war. We don't hate you. We say this because we love our country and we love our generation and we want to be in a better Uganda. You promised us lots of things, but we have been disappointed constantly. All we are looking for is the opportunity to do things ourselves in our home. When you were our age, you did not accept these kinds of injustices. There's no reason why you should expect us to accept that in our age. That's all. We want to do that constitutionally and peacefully and for the betterment of our country. Yeah, to all of you Ugandans, it's important for you to know that this is your country, this is where you are born, and this is where you are going to be buried. It's important not to expect everything from the politicians or from the government. So get involved, don't leave matters to the politicians alone. No, get involved. And most importantly, do not fear, because fear is the only barrier between us and the country we want to live in. One day we shall be reminding ourselves of this struggle, and that is when we are on the other side of freedom. So hanging right there, we're also hanging in right there, we'll get the liberation that we deserve.
From this moment on, one challenge after the other was coming his way. He demonstrated against new laws that were brought in by Museveni. He started the People Power movement, brought opposition leaders together, and he went to support opposition candidates in other parts of Uganda in order to create a more equally balanced parliament. But the more he started mobilizing Ugandans, the more his life was made difficult by the government. And the more his popularity amongst Ugandans was growing, the more he was getting into the danger zone. Until the 13th of August, Bobi Wine was supporting an opposition candidate in the northern part of Uganda while things got out of control. Bobi Wine was captured, tortured, and brought to the military prison. His driver was shot dead in the driver's seat of his car, where he was seated 1 minute earlier. Bobi Wine was facing death and needed medical help from abroad.
Why is my husband held in a military barracks?
This is the moment that the world was taking it to the streets with the hashtag Free Bobi Wine. And me? I was demonstrating in Amsterdam. And it really doesn't matter who I am, but I am one of the many Ugandans who has been following the story, and that still follows it. Because this is a very important part of the story of Uganda. The story from ghetto to parliament.
Bam bam, bam bam, bam bam, bam bam. Bam bam.